Hey everybody, it is Wednesday, June 11th in the United States and Canada, and this is a show called What Chaos presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code What Chaos. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and across the room is the great Sean DePaz. Hello, Sean.
Hey, howdy.
Hey.
Hi, Pete.
Hey, thanks, Sean. Really pregnant pause there.
Well, I was kind of thrown off because I feel like recently it's been asked, like, how are you doing or what's up? And it was just hi. So I didn't know what to do with that. I was like,
hi,
I guess
Sean.
all I could say is hi.
Chat, how you doing? How
Hi.
you doing, chat? How's it going? How are you, Dave?
Good. I hate to do this. You're not supposed to call this out. All three of us sound very, very tired. Our voices sound shit, and that won't matter because we've got an electric show today. We are coming off a great event last night with Bauer as they were launching their incredible new line, Vapor Fly Light. Got the stick back there, got the skates back there. Those things are light as a feather. It's not even an ad. It kind of is an ad, but those are the lightest skates in the world, customized for us. Look at that. You'll see the name on there. It says Blackburn. Perfect. Perfect. Exactly. We also got some flip-floppies, right? What are those called? Slides.
Custom slides.
UFOs.
UFOs.
Yep.
UFOs. Yeah.
Look unbelievable.
UFOs.
It was a weird night. It was an incredible event, as I said, to launch this new line of like the sickest stuff, but everybody was there. We were there. The Powers brothers were there. The Hudson brothers were there. Marie-Philippe Poulin was there. Patrick Kane was there. It was a real who's who featuring who's that, and that would be us. But it was a very cool time, and Bauer put together one hell of an event for one hell of a product, the Vapor Fly Light line.
It was a great time. Shout out to Bauer. Thanks for having us. Thanks for the old gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Just love getting hooked up, man. It's the best.
Best part of it, Adamo was there.
That's true. We had a nice long chat with our good pal Adamo Fantilli. We were all rooting for Zach Werenski to win the Norris today.
Yes, we set up a station in case we wanted to do any sort of like grab players, do podcasts or whatever. They had a DJ whose personal mission in life was to bump those subs like they've never been bumped. So it very quickly became anything we get would be unusable. So let's just talk to the Powers brothers and bug Adam Fantilli and the Hudson brothers.
The DJ was very much prioritizing his own subs versus our subs.
Yes.
That
Wait.
was insane.
No, that DJ was.
Yes.
And
that DJ was doing a great job. I will say, like, credit where credit is due. He ruined our podcast plans, but he absolutely nailed the music at that place.
Oh yeah, he was doing Backstreet Boys. It was great. We had a station set up, lights, mics, everything, and across the room, Netters had a station set up. So if you were standing in like the middle of this big wide open room on the right, you could watch What Chaos do stuff, and on the left you could watch Netters do stuff, and everybody was just mingling, everybody was talking, very good time. And I walked over towards the area where our stuff was set up, and I saw because I just assumed, I was like, no one's going to be able to do any podcasts here. And I saw like feet dangling from the netters station. And I was like, oh, fuck, like they're doing stuff. Should we be doing stuff? And it was just like a little child who was lost, who was just sitting there because it was a completely abandoned area. The one safe place where nobody is going to come is the podcasting area.
Yeah, the only place nobody wanted to talk to anybody was the podcasting area. But all in all, an incredible time.
Loved it. They also had two simulators, a golf one, and then just kind of a free-for-all. We were doing hardest shot. We were doing accuracy. We were trying to beat Canadian goalies in like the streets of Harlem because you could pick where you were doing it. Amazing. All around. So good. So good to see so many awesome people. Powers Brothers, just the greatest.
DP talking shit to me on Twitter, but doesn't follow me.
Oh, yeah.
Discovered that this morning.
Behavior.
Yeah, we walked in. There were badges for all of us. And we walked in. We were doing our stuff. We got there a little early. And then as the night went on, we saw that everybody had badges. And we were like, oh, fuck, we didn't get ours. And Dan said, oh, yeah, yours are downstairs. Point to Sean. And he was like, I tagged you.
Yeah.
And
I had
we were
no
like,
idea what that
or he
meant.
said, I tagged yours. And I was like, oh, is it some like app thing where you put in?
You checked me in or something?
Yeah. So we were like, all right, Sean's good. And then we ended up getting our badges later. And Sean checked Twitter and he was like, oh, Dan just took a picture of my badge and said, bitch.
3 hours later. And so DP thought that I was upset with him. I just hadn't seen it because I didn't know what he meant. But it's like outrageous to me that he's talking shit to me on Twitter and doesn't even follow me.
But Ricky, Brandon, whole gang, great time. It also gave us the feeling, even though we have not traveled yet, this Stanley Cup Final, it gives us that feeling that like, oh, we're running around a lot right now.
Yeah, I mean, we got back to the studio last night around like midnight, and we were like, man, it feels like we just got back from a trip, when in reality we drove 45 minutes away.
I mean, my favorite part of going to the NHL events, like the Winter Classic or the draft or whatever, is seeing the other media people.
Yeah, the congregation. It's
guys,
always good hangs.
Yeah, so. I'm glad that even if we don't end up traveling, I got to scratch that itch.
That's right.
Can tell you two people there that, and we're personable guys. We're friendly. We go around shaking hands, kissing babies, especially if it's someone we might want to do stuff with. This is a big Bauer event, so like everybody should be there, but I felt really stupid that we were at a thing and Marie-Philippe Poulin was just like at the table next to us hanging out. We could have gone up and been like, I didn't think of it until we were leaving, but I was like, we could have asked her to play like the accuracy shooting thing with us. Not for content.
I think she would have won.
Just for like hangs. Should have done that. And then Patrick Kane was just like, Patrick Kane was like, who the fuck are these people?
I mean,
not to the other people there, but like to.
With all due respect, Patrick Kane does not need to be there. Like that man has put in his 1,000 hours. I appreciate him being there. I'm sure Bauer loved him being there. Patrick Kane, if I was Patrick Kane, I'd be like, fuck this shit. I don't need to be here.
But it shows what a big event it was.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the Calder winner, who, I'll be quite honest with you, I made a fucking dick out of myself too. I was chatting to him and I was like, hey, so what's today been like? And this is Lane Hudson, and he was like, oh, it's like good. Just been doing some stuff, and this man has come up to me. How's your day going? And I was like, no, but like, was it like crazy, the award? And then I realized I was like, these fucking videos. Fucking videos that they're doing to reveal who wins these awards. I was like, you did not learn that you won this award today. When did you learn that you won this award? And he was like, a little while ago, like a couple weeks, something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, happy belated birthday. Have a great rest of your night, and congratulations. We'll see you next year.
Are we doing awards chat later on in the show?
Yes. Among other things, give us what's on the show. Wanted to make sure we got some Bauer chat off the top.
There you go. Today on the show, we are going to talk about the Ducks hunting. Because last night when we were at the Bauer event, there was a word that trickled out, a little report, that the New York Rangers and Anaheim Ducks were exploring and making progress on a Chris Kreider trade. It has not gone official yet, but it sounds like That's going to happen. Chris Kreider is going to end up an Anaheim Duck, which is very fascinating. Can't wait to talk about that. We're also going to talk about oil changes. Thad Castle voice. Oil changes.
Good reference.
Chris Knobloch. Would you say? Good reference?
Good reference. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You have no idea.
I
what
got
that
it.
is.
No, I got it.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, why don't you inform the people who don't get it?
There's zero
DJ?
chance that DJ has ever watched Blue Mountain State.
Oh no, I got it. It's from Blue Mountain State. I honestly, I watched that on Netflix, and I did not know until I was on like fourth or fifth episode that was like a Netflix show that was made for Netflix. Yeah, it was. That didn't air other places. Yeah, it was like House of Cards. No, it was. It was like one of the early original Netflix.
I'm pretty sure it was on Spike TV. I thought.
I would have thought.
I'm almost positive it was on Spike.
No,
TV.
that was a direct to Netflix. It was. It was like they were doing a drama with House of Cards, and they were doing Blue Mountain State to try to get like the horny jocks.
Blue Mountain State is an American television sitcom that premiered on Spike.
Bam!
Yeah, I don't fucking know what Blue Mountain State is.
I mean,
Do you know what an oil changes?
Yes.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Well, I know what an actual oil change
fair
is.
Yeah,
enough.
but you know what an oil change is in the
For Blue Mountain State, it's going to be some horny jock thing. The only thing I know about Blue Mountain State,
Not horny.
No.
It is a jock thing.
it's a jock thing.
It's more or less using a catheter to replace your urine with clean urine because you've been using steroids, so you can pass a drug test.
I thought the Blue Mountain State was, I mean, I assumed it was college.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And it's not like a D1.
No, I think it's
school.
D3.
Oh,
right?
I thought in the context of the show it was D1. It's like not a real show or not a real school.
Yeah, I thought it was like maybe D2 or something.
Now who doesn't know about Blue Mountain State?
No, because
As
like
usual,
guys
I
were going
win.
to the NFL.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a TV show.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
only
get it.
one of them went to the NFL, right? Or like it was Thad Castle, I believe. I don't know.
I'm
But
very apologetic to anybody in the chat who was saying like, "Oh, it's Spike, it's Spike." I did not know what I was just completely lying. I wasn't trying to.
I've known you to do that so many times, and I still cannot tell when you're doing that. You
Someone in
sell
the
it
chat
so
said
hard.
bunnies aren't real. I got peed on that so good
Yeah,
a million
What?
years ago.
like we were in like a phase of brunch, our previous podcast, where we were just doing lies, like harmless lies, and DJ sold me on bunnies not being real. Like rabbits are real,
It's like
bunnies are not real.
Yeah,
It's just a made up thing.
Bunnies are like the Easter bunny is a thing, and the Easter bunny is a bunny, which is like a sort of thing like a rabbit. Rabbits are actual animals. The Easter bunny is this kind of species that's been made up a la the Jurassic Park movies where they'll be like, oh, that's a triceratodon. And you're like, I don't think that was a real type of dinosaur.
Stacey Faye with another incredible poll from a DJ Lie. DJ
I've
said
heard
that
about
there
this
are no 2-floor CVSs. There's like some law that prevents CVS from having
because I'm pretty
2
sure
floors.
we found about that because in Chicago
We
right?
went to a 2-floor CVS in Chicago, and we mentioned that to you. That's why you'd heard that one before. Yeah. We're also going to be joined later on in the show by Isaiah Mustafa, who is going to host the NHL Awards this year. Which has got to be the easiest job in the world.
There's only
this
2
year.
fucking awards.
No, they're giving away all the goddamn
We're gonna
awards.
dog that guy, and he's awesome. You know him from the Old Spice commercials. He's the man that your man could smell like.
That's right.
I mean, I'll tell you what the first question's going to be. It's like not going to be funny once you know what's coming, but it's like drop the peck routine.
I mean, could ask me that. I'm
Guys
also jacked.
Yeah, well, you don't have pecs. Like you have a great body.
Thanks.
That
bro.
guy's got world famous pecs.
He does. I'd also like to get a few tips here and there.
They
so I'm
call him
excited about that.
Pexarine.
He's an
Oh.
LA Kings season ticket holder. So
Yes,
that's good.
not
news
an
for
oil
us.
man. Very deeply not an oil man. But now he's a Ken Holland man. So we'll see.
Handshake. And finally, yes, we are going to do some awards chat, and you might be surprised by what that means.
You might be. You might not be. Let's begin in this long stretch between games 3 and 4 of the Stanley Cup Final with the Anaheim Ducks, who are getting Chris Kreider from the Rangers for a prospect and a pick. Frank Saravalli all over it yesterday evening, all over that something was being discussed, something was going to happen, didn't have yet what it was going to be, and now it's going to be a prospect and a pick. And this is very interesting for the Anaheim Ducks because Chris Kreider, as you know, is a 34-year-old left wing with 2 more years on his contract at $6.5 million. The Anaheim Ducks are a team with the worst power play in the league and $38.68 million in salary cap space. That is before adding Chris Kreider. We saw this report yesterday and we were like, the Ducks want to turn into the 2021 New York Rangers, and that is stupid. What are they doing? That was my initial thought. What was your initial thought?
Yeah, it was just like they're just collecting old Rangers. That was that first easy arrival to a takeaway. But the more that I thought about it, I mean, obviously the Ducks need power play help, and Chris Kreider should help them do that. They were dead last in the league in power play this past season. But the longer I thought about it, it just feels like this is an announcement by the Ducks that they are going to do some shit this offseason.
I love this for the Ducks, mainly because it is a starter's pistol that they're going to do some shit. They can add Chris Kreider. Like I saw a lot of stuff about like, will the Rangers retain it? Don't need to. Just give up as little as you can. Take on the $6.5 million. You are very much good for it. You have so much space. We've all heard the rumors about them going after Mitch Marner. If you are adding Chris Kreider on the left side, Mitch Marner on the right side, this opens doors as to what they might be doing afterwards, because after this move, after the Kreider move, they got $32.15 million in cap space. And yes, they're going to need to save some of that money because as their young guys come up, the Cutter Gauthiers of the world, the Leo Carlsons of the world, they're going to need to shell out big money for those boys. But for now, their current left wings, before adding Chris Kreider, Troy Terry, 27-year-old wing mostly wing, who has 4 straight 20-goal seasons. He's signed till 2030. That guy's not going anywhere. Cutter Gauthier, on his entry-level contract. It was a big stink getting that guy there in the first place. He's not going anywhere. Then you got Trevor Zegras, 25 years old, entering the last year of his contract, after which he will become an RFA. And I think that bangs you over the head with a big mallet that says, sign Marner, trade Zegras.
Yeah, I feel like a Zegras trade would not shock me at this point in time. I'm very, very intrigued by what the Ducks plan to do this season and in the next few seasons. Like, what do they think that they're not necessarily a window, but like where are they trying to get to in the next couple of years? Because they're clearly going in a direction where they want to get a little bit more experience to pair with these younger guys. And if you go out and get Kreider, like, what do you think you're going to be next year, especially if you make a couple big splashes in free agency?
I think that they are a fringe playoff team, and they kind of were a fringe playoff team this year. But if you sign Marner, trade Zegras, you're obviously getting something for Zegras.
Right.
I don't know what it would look like, but even taking out whatever they're going to get for Zegras, if they trade for Kreider, sign Marner, and trade Zegras, your top 6 is probably looking like the 6 guys being Terry, Strome, Marner, Gauthier, Carlson, Vetrano. That is a good solid top 6. And then your third line is going to have Chris Kreider, Mason McTavish, I should say, and Alex Killorn, which would be a really good third line.
Yeah, unless McTavish gets offer sheeted this offseason. Probably
He's
not.
not.
Probably not.
I'm the offer sheet stuff, and I know there's another name out there now that is being floated, Jack McBain. The guys that are going to get offer sheeted are going to be the
lower rung guys,
the second or third round pick guys. It's going to be McBain. It's going to be Maverick Bourque. It's not going to be the guys like if you're assigning Mason McTavish to an offer sheet, you're giving up first round picks to get that guy. And teams that would be in that position, man, like I'm just so afraid of potentially giving up the pick that could be first overall next year.
You could also throw a potential John Gibson trade into that that offseason barrel. Like, the Ducks are emerging as one of the more fascinating teams to watch this offseason, and I think that the Chris Kreider, like you mentioned, is a starter pistol for this team.
Yeah. What about, you said they trade John Gibson. What about something with Boston? Just off the top of my head, something with Boston. Gibson goes to Boston, Swayman goes to Anaheim, Zegras goes to Boston?
No, just no interest in that. Like, and I don't think that Anaheim needs a goaltender. Like, Lucas Dostal is their goaltender.
But if they want to recreate the best goaltending situation that has existed in recent years,
I guess I don't understand why you do that from a Boston standpoint either. Like, if I'm doing that trade, I want McTavish. I want I want a lot more than Trevor Zegras.
Yeah, and I feel like McTavish probably holds more value than Jeremy Swayman right now because he's young, although you don't know what the contract's going to look like. But Ducks knocking on the door hard. They got a good new coach. Their roster is good already, and they're clearly about to make it better. They're banging on the door. Who comes out in the West if they do become a playoff team? Playoff teams this year: Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, Vegas, LA, Edmonton, Minnesota, St. Louis. Minnesota, I will know, because you would say it's probably going to be one of the wild card teams, and maybe it will be. But Minnesota they're going to have a lot of money to spend too. And they've got Zeev coming in. And rookie defensemen don't usually lead teams to the playoffs, but he's going into an already good team whose arrow is pointing up. And then St. Louis, that's their first year under Montgomery. I would say that St. Louis is the most likely to fall out from that group, but they're going to have Holloway healthy, a year older, a year better. Like, they're also ascending. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's impossible to project this early in the offseason, but like I would say if you're looking at those teams, St. Louis, given that they like didn't lose a game in the second half of the year, that's probably the most non-repeatable type thing that I would look at. I think Anaheim's ready to make a jump. I would also say like Utah Hockey Club poised for a big offseason that could push them into a position where maybe they're knocking on the door. So, I mean, this is we said it like even before heading to the event yesterday on the drive to the Bauer event. Like, this is going to be a fascinating offseason in a number of different areas, with the cap going up, with a lot of teams feeling like they're knocking on the door, just kind of the free agency. Like, the free agent class is not amazing, so a lot of teams maybe going to have to think outside the box if they want to reposition themselves.
And you have to worry about next year's free agency. What if those guys that are coming up are going to be available? Mm-hmm. Not that I don't think McDavid is going to hit the market, but what if Jack Eichel does? Every team in the league needs to have money set aside for Jack Eichel. 31 teams in the league need to have money set aside for Jack Eichel. He might not go to what's a funny team to say in front instead of the Sabres?
I mean, I feel like it's
Jets.
I was going to say, realistically, it's probably not even 31 teams, because if Jack Eichel goes to the Winnipeg Jets, I'll have problems.
If he goes to the Flames,
I would be surprised if Jack Eichel played for any Canadian team. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah, he does not strike me as having much interest in doing that.
He is. I'm not projecting anything, but he seems like, even as a joke, he may have said 51st state at some point in his life.
I mean, he was one of the boys that got up after Guerin invited Trump to the Four Nations. Which,
I mean, he went to a Trump rally during the campaign. So
I think he loves his country.
He loves his country.
Frank Saravalli voice.
Yeah.
So because he's a Republican,
he's going to stay in the States.
I'm not saying it.
So he's not going to play for a Canadian team because he's a Republican, and we should all be mad about that. Okay.
He's a hockey guy.
You can look it up.
He's a hockey guy.
Look it up.
I know. Because he's a Republican?
That's my favorite video. And clearly, we love that video. I love Frank Saravalli. And he's going to...
Kosh Patel's a hockey guy.
Yeah. So he can't go to the game, even though he's a hockey guy, because he's a Republican.
It's such a funny video. Shout out to Frank.
Yes.
We love Frank.
The only thing better than Frank... experiencing games in person. Whether you're trying to catch your favorite team live or just looking for the best deals on live event tickets, let us tell you about our friends at Vivid Seats, the best place to get your tickets for any game or show. And as discussed, if they sell tickets, game shows. They got the best selection of seats, a 100% buyer guarantee, and they're the only ticket marketplace that rewards you for every purchase. For a limited time, our listeners can use promo code CHAOS30 to receive $30 off their first Vivid Seats purchase of $300 or more. Just click the link in the show notes or download the Vivid Seats app and use promo code CHAOS30 for $30 off your first purchase of $300 or more. And folks, that's not all. Vivid Seats is giving away free tickets every week. Check out the exclusive Game Center in the Vivid Seats app and play trivia about your favorite teams and artists for your chance to win. When it comes to playoff hockey, being there is all that matters, so experience it live with Vivid Seats.
Today is a big deodorant forward episode.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because our guest that's coming up in a little bit is a famous deodorant spokesman. But we only recognize Mando on this podcast because Mando is the men's deodorant brand that is hyper-focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh and clean. And if you've heard us talk about Mando before, you know that we mean every part of a man's body. Chat, go ahead and say it. Type in the word. Yeah, I know you want to type in the word. Starts with a G, ends with a grundle. So Mando is Mando. You can put it on your penis, put it on your pits, your belly button, your balls, your butt cracks, and yes, your grundle, and everywhere in between. It's a whole body deodorant that's safe to use anywhere on your body. It's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated by the masses. Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. And we're talking scents. You want to talk about scents? You got a 6 scents? How about they got a bunch of scents, including bourbon leather, cloverwood, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and all their products are baking soda free and paraben free. So stay safe out there. Put the deodorant wherever you can. And Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. We're talking mini body wash, deodorant wipes, and things of that nature. And we're talking free shipping. You got something to say?
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's right. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers are going to get $5 off that starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. So use code WhatChaos at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support the show and tell Mando that we sent you because they pay attention to that stuff. They love working with All City. They love knowing where the customers come from. Tell them What Chaos sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Matt says, I'm 26 years old and I still laughed when DJ said penis. Boy, do I have some ages for you.
Some ages?
Yeah. They said they're 26 and still laughed when I said penis.
Yeah.
Saying we are significantly older than 26 years old, and that's just normal shit.
I don't think we laughed.
Yeah,
I think that's serious business.
Yeah.
Your penis
doctors.
is serious business.
We are learned doctors of the school of Mando.
My penis is no joking matter. Don't make jokes about it.
Famously. Okay, let's talk game 4. Chris Knobloch says, I should note, he doesn't say who the starting goaltender will be for game 4. Now, we saw in practice yesterday that Stu Skinner was in the starter's net. We know the facts about Stu Skinner, that he has not had a great series. He has certainly been outplayed by Sergei Bobrovsky, and he was no good in that Game 3 loss in which he allowed 5 goals. We also know that he is the GOAT in Game 4s, and that Calvin Pickard, with the exception of that relief duty on Monday, has not played recently. So it seems silly to ask if the Oilers should consider a goalie change, but I'm actually kind of asking that question. How are you?
I think no, and like emphatically no. Stu is obviously the Game 4 thing is awesome for the Oilers and for Stu. But when I look at what happened in Game 3, I put a very small or equal percentage on blame for Stu there. I said that very clumsily. I put a very small and equal percentage of blame on Stu as the rest of the players wearing the uniform in Game 3. Everyone sucked, including Stu.
Yes, but, and I'm not saying, I'll get to how I would consider a change. I'm still obviously leaning Stu, but Stu, as we know, has 2 speeds. and you know, like when he's on, he's
I honestly don't think that's true anymore.
really.
Yeah, like
You think he can be
I
just
think
okay?
he can be okay.
All right, well that makes me feel better, I guess. But I guess the two speeds are possibly the best goalie in the planet and definitely not the best goalie in the planet. And that's a huge, like, definitely not the best goalie in the planet can mean like the fifth best goalie on the planet, which I don't think I've ever seen him be the fifth best goalie on the planet.
No.
I've seen him be the best, or I have seen him be very unremarkable.
And what I'll say is, like, when he's okay, I think you're just waiting for him to turn into either the best goalie on the planet or the worst goalie on the planet. Sometimes it just doesn't happen.
But when he doesn't have it, do you see him then lock in? Like over the course of a game, we talked about this. You were like, Bob looks good, right? Bob looks good this game. And I was like, yeah, but Bob does have the thing where he can lose it over the course of a game. Stu is pretty much like, does he start off bad, allow 2 in the first period, and then say, okay, no more? Like when he allows 2 in that first period, I'm like, there's probably another one coming, you know? But this is the way I would consider it. And this is sort of clickbaity the way I'm going about this, because I still would go Stu in game 4. If I'm Chris Knobloch, I call 97 into the office and I say, you decide. You know, just because you're so close. You are so close to winning the Stanley Cup. You just need 3 wins. So you say, like, look, we'll figure out what we do in game 5 for game 5. But for this game, because, sorry, Connor, earmuffs, I, Chris Knobloch, do not think you are going to win 3 games in a row again against this team. You need to win this game. What do you need? What do you have a read of the room? I hope. What do you think will get these guys to not be the assholes that they were in game 3? And if he says, you know what, we're going to defend a little tighter, we're going to be a little more on our P's and Q's if we have the backup goalie in there, I say fucking fine.
I mean, I listen to him. I don't let him make the decision. I think that's setting a bad precedent. I know it's Connor McDavid. I know that he's a guy that you kind of want to hand the world to, but Chris Knobloch's got a job to do, and he should do his own job.
Sean made a face.
No, I was
just
just
in a while. Sean was agreeing.
I was nodding in agreement with Pete. Yeah, I just hate the idea of having one guy make that decision. When I know it's
I mean, I
Connor
like
McDavid.
the idea of having one guy make that
Well,
decision,
yes.
but the
It
head
should
coach
be the head
should be
coach.
that guy.
Yeah, it should be the guy whose job that is. And like, I know it's Connor McDavid. He's not the best player on this team, or he wasn't this year. So like, I don't feel like it's. I don't feel like that's fair to like the
That's
other
true.
leaders on this team. Yeah, I mean, I also just think even considering starting Calvin Pickard is a little ridiculous. I think you just clearly have to play Skinner. The only argument that I would listen to is that you kind of know what you're getting with Calvin Pickard. Although I also agree with Pete in the sense that like I think we're at a point where you more or less know what you're getting with Stuart Skinner. But yeah, you just can't, like we've talked about, it's a more or less a must-win game. Can't afford to lose it. So if you feel like there is a chance that after what you've seen over the last 2 days, Stuart Skinner might not be where he needs to be mentally, you can't take the risk of starting him. But assuming that's not the case, I think you have to play Stuart Skinner.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I don't think it's ridiculous to start Calvin Pickard. I think that should be on the table. But I think by starting Calvin Pickard, it's to send a message to the rest of the team that you need to play better in front of whoever's in net. And the Oilers have shown to this point that they don't need the goalie change to inspire them that way. Like that, this is a team that is capable of flushing and resetting from one game to the next. And I don't think that you need to pull a goaltender in order to send that message.
Great point. And I know that, was Pickard healthy yet? But after game 1 against Dallas, people were doing the stupid, boy, like McDavid's going to leave the Edmonton Oilers because of Stu Skinner after that team-wide meltdown. And then what happened the next game? Stu gets a shutout. 2 games after that, he allows 1 goal each. So I agree. It is a team-wide thing. And I was playing a bit of devil's advocate there because I definitely go with Stu. I give him a short leash, and I said that yesterday, and someone said, well, what good is a short leash if he allows 2 goals? If he allows 2 goals and you're down 2-0, are you serious? You think the Oilers can't come back and win that game?
I mean, that was the thing after the second period of
They came back in game 1.
But I mean, like after game 3, when it was something that Olchek pointed out, was like, you guys started being assholes, but you were very much in the game, and you were down 3 goals.
Yeah,
like you're the Edmonton Oilers.
It's just, I keep going back to the Mr. Game 4 thing, and like I feel like that shouldn't matter. But at some point, like, the numbers are so crazy that you can't ignore them, right? Like, he's 6-0 with like a .955 save percentage in game 4s, averaging like 1.5 goals allowed per game.
Yeah.
There's something there. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if you want to like believe in that, but it's there. And I don't think, and like, if you put in Pickard and he sucks, you're going to face that question so often. I just feel like you got to play Stu in game 4. And then if he loses game 4, then you can make the switch to Pickard. And maybe it's too late at that point, but I feel like you got to lean with the numbers and you got to lean with the guy who's kind of gotten you there.
Stuart Skinner has been so good in game 4s that I have been confusingly looking up why does he only have a .955 save percentage? What was the game that he allowed goals? Like, I just checked now. I was like, was it game 4 in the first round against the Kings last year? No, he had a shutout. I don't know when it is that he's allowed, say, 2 goals in a game 4, if ever. So you have to go with Stu. And if you lose that game and you did not play Mr. Game 4 and you just didn't play your best roster, which you could argue they don't do anyway because they don't play Jeff Skinner, but that is big time people question the coach time.
Yeah.
So got to be careful there. Although I will tell you, Knobloch said that there probably will be a lineup change. It's expected to be Troy Stetcher in for John Klingberg. I love that. I feel very, very bad for John Klingberg because he's been awesome this postseason. But like I said,
until game 3, he was horrible in game 3.
Had a really bad game 3, and you're 3 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup. Like, you have to pull.
Rumpus time is over.
Rumpus time over.
More importantly than your 2 losses away from losing your 2nd straight Stanley Cup.
Right.
Like, you can't fuck around.
We don't. I think of it as the glass is 2/7 of the one. What would it be? 1/7 of the way full versus 2/7 of the way empty.
Not in the mental space to be doing that kind of math right now.
Okay. I believe we have our guest. Is our guest there? Let's find out. We are getting a no from Sean. If our guest, we're getting no video from our guest in case the guest can hear us. Something's got to give, though, as the guest potentially gets sorted out. Oilers win after meltdowns, last 3 series. Panthers win 3 games in a row, last 2 series. They did it after falling down 2-0 against the Leafs. Lord knows they did it for the first 3 games of the Eastern Conference Final against the Carolina Hurricanes. Panthers always lose a game at home, last 6 series. And as you mentioned, Pete, Stuart Skinner is unbeaten in game 4. So something is going to change in game 4, and let's hope for my sanity's sake that it's the Edmonton Oilers tying the series. I believe now our guest is good. Let's welcome in the host of the NHL Awards Thursday night and the man your man could smell like, for all you Old Spice heads, actor Isaiah Mustafa. Isaiah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was actually listening to the whole thing before. I was there before, so I don't know what was going on, but I'm back. So
hell yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited for the NHL Awards. You said you've been wanting to do this since 2012. So could you break down why, say, like Joshua Jackson and the other people who have hosted over the years have just chunked it bad?
I can't talk on their performance, but I can tell you why I wasn't a host. Likely because there was no relevance at the time. You know, I think I was probably in between jobs or something. So to have me host the show wasn't going to give anybody any exposure, other than me. So
why was this year different?
I don't know. I guess you got to have a hit show on Amazon or something.
There you go.
Amazing. What is the Peck routine?
The Peck routine. I don't know. I definitely not any. I live in wine country, so it's probably a lot of like swilling of glasses of rosé or something like that.
We've been calling you Aaron Peckblad because
you're on steroids.
Yeah, because we think you take steroids.
That's pretty funny.
We think that you cheat and take steroids.
So the funny thing about us is we've
No
also
PEDs.
been trying to host the NHL Awards since 2012, and so like right now is we're kind of like pitching why we should host it next year. So that's our Aaron Ekblad joke.
I got a lock on it now. You guys can't have it. I'm sorry. I'm not giving it up. It's like the cup, like you got to fight for that thing. I'm holding on to it.
Didn't Keenan have it for like 31 years in a row? Like, I think it is one of those things like the Selkie where like once you get it once, every year they're just going to be like, oh, well, Isaiah's the host guy.
Anybody who can be on SNL for 20 years can do whatever the hell he wants. So yeah, hats off to Keenan. If Keenan's the only guy that says, hey, give me that back, I'm giving it to him. Here, take it.
I liked the Keenan years. The thing with these award shows, though, is hockey players, as we saw with, I think, the best NHL awards to date, which was last year's, is hockey players are humble. They don't want to do the big song and dance and everything. So the idea of them going to collect individual awards is just very, very uncomfortable for them, let alone to add in a song and a dance and a joke and all that stuff. They don't want to show up anybody. They don't want to embarrass anybody. They just want to have a nice time. And, like if you want to email them, hey, great season, you got this award, I'm sure that they would be just as happy. So that's why like Pete and I would watch over the years and we're like, what's the writing staff look like?
I think you're gonna like this year, and thank you for making my job easier because this year's format is different. You're actually gonna see the personality of the guys, and you're gonna see how humble and how appreciative these guys are, and how much fun they have when they're not on the ice. You get to see a little bit of slice of life. These guys, I mean, as you said, like these guys are humble guys. They're workers. NHL is the only professional sport where you still have the mystique of playing as a little boy in Little League or mites or whatever it was you were playing. You still have that feeling of like, hey, it's all for one. There's no grandstander. It's all about team.
Did you watch last year's?
Did I watch last year's awards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched.
Where Matt Friend came in, and I'll be honest, I didn't know who Matt Friend was. But 5 minutes in, I was like, this guy's the fucking GOAT. He's going up to Nikita Kucherov, like poking him and pushing him around, dressing like him, being like, ooh, I'm you. Doing all these guys is fucking nightmare.
I was going to say, there's got to be some sort of mandate from the NHL to not mess with Nikita Kucherov this year because he looked like he wanted to kill Matt Friend last year. Any sort of mandate from the NHL that was sent to you?
No, I mean, listen, I've been around the NHL for a while now, so I know better than to do some stupid stuff like that. but I think you can rib the guys if you're one of the guys, and so being that like no host plays in the NHL, you might want to just you got to tread that lightly on that outdoor rink. You know what I mean? Like the ice may not be solid if you keep messing with guys like that.
You're a former wide receiver, so you're one of the guys. You're an athlete. You're allowed to go there.
I mean, but I also, I know better. I mean, some things stay. You got to keep it. In the room. You can't like give guys too much. You can give a little bit, but not too much. And I appreciate you putting me in with the guys. I do appreciate that, but. I've said it before. Hockey is like no other. They're like somebody asked me the other day. They're like, "What's harder, playing in the NFL, the NHL?" I'm like, without a doubt, the NHL. I mean, I've never done it, but I can tell you right now, like they're playing 82 games, and these guys are giving it all every night. There's a reason why they only skate for 35 seconds a shift. Because it's hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, our producer Sean says it because whenever we can see Connor McDavid live, we do it. Like if you have the opportunity to go watch Connor McDavid do what he does, it's incredible. And I'm paraphrasing you, Sean, and hopefully not butchering it. But basically, there's electric athletes and there's amazing athletes. But to watch somebody do it better than anybody else, and they're doing it on skates, it's just different than watching someone. And running is very impressive, but to add in the fact that you are flying around going faster than anybody else and people are flying around and trying to hit you just adds a different component to it.
Yeah, there's a reason I have season seats for the Kings, and there's a reason why I moved my seats to right behind the goal so I'd have an unobstructed view of the ice, so I could see all these superstars come in and how fast they skate and their decision making, how fast it is. It's unreal. Like I take people to games who've never been to games, because that's how you get it. Yeah, that's how you grow a hockey fan. Is you've never been to a game? Well, come with me. You got to see what this game is really all about. There's no going back to the huddle, talking about something, going back to the sideline, and finally standing on the line, going, and then waiting another 3 minutes to go. There's none of that. It's nonstop. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. There's some whistles here and there, whatever. But it's, for the most part, like it's 100 or 60 minutes of just straight furious, fast. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's the best game on ice.
Isaiah, I have to note, we do a live show, so we have a chat going on, and it is 100% objectification of you. Everybody thinks that you are so handsome. We have Ready to Risk It All in the chat. We have hosting shirtless, or
So I'm not gay, but I'm thinking about it earlier. It's what
also,
we want.
This one just says, I'm not used to seeing this guy not on a horse, which is fair.
Oh man. And that's coming from a lot of Edmonton fans, right? Like,
we have a lot of Edmonton fans.
I was gonna say,
but hats off.
As a Kings guy, how much do you hate the Oilers?
No, man, there's no hate. Don't get me wrong. I don't like them, but damn, do I respect them.
Yeah. What do you think happens next? Fifth time's a charm. What do you think happens when?
You know that I'm rooting for Edmonton, right? Because that's the only way that we get to dethrone a Stanley Cup champion. You know.
That's
true. Yeah.
That's not necessarily true. Like if Florida wins, you can dethrone the Stanley Cup champion in the Stanley Cup Final next year.
But they have to get past Edmonton.
Can I give my prediction? Right. Can I give you my prediction?
Yes.
This is not going anything less than 7 games. It's not. All right. And when you play Game 7 in Rogers, I'll challenge anybody to say that Edmonton's going to lose. They're not losing.
I hate to say it. I sound biased, but I still think they're winning the series, possibly even in 6.
I mean, yes, possibly. But I'm telling you right now, how amazing would that be for them though? Like a Game 7 in Edmonton, and that outdoor crowd would go crazy. I mean, it would.
Have you ever been to a game there?
Come on.
Have you ever been to a game there?
I never have, because it's hard for me to go into the opponent's, the Lions' den, because I will wear my jerseys and stuff, and God forbid we lose. I did it one time in Toronto. I'm walking out. I got my Kopitar jersey on, and somebody yelled at me. They're like, "Hey, Kopitar, nice game." And I was like, yeah, get out of round 1.
Well,
I mean,
in Toronto, they were just surprised to see someone wearing a jersey at a game, because they're all wearing suits.
Yeah, that's
so they were like, "What's?"
But
I mean, the
nothing
easy
but
solution
respect
for you
the
is to just
and that team, though, man.
If anybody talks shit to you, you just take the jersey off, go shirtless, and then what the fuck are they gonna say?
I didn't think about that, but now that's in my arsenal. I'm gonna use that, you know. But hey, honestly, I don't want to say anything bad about the Florida team either. They're both great teams. But you're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get 7 games of good hockey, and then let the chips fall where they may in that Game 7.
What is your relationship with the Koreatown Community Center harmonica class?
They're amazing. Those ladies know they know how to bring it home. You know what I mean?
Do you know, we have it on good authority that they were asked back for Game 2 of that series and said no because, quote, they needed to rest, which makes sense because they're
I don't
old.
know if that.
And then they got
I don't know if that's true or not, but I can tell you this much: when it was unveiled, because it was kept quiet, when it was unveiled that they were back, that arena went nuts.
Yeah, I liked that, because we were talking about it the next day after Game 1, and Sean was like, that was just a fucking gig. They're going to the studio and they're cooking all night. They're working. They're making hit records. They don't need this. They are clearly bigger than all of us. So I love that they were asked back for Game 2, and they were like,
nah,
kind of tired. And then when you see them back for Game 2, they're kitted up. They're in the Evander Kane limousine. They are just they were wined and
Evander
dined.
Kane.
Yes.
You know what? I met Evander Kane way back in the day in Vancouver one time. Nice dude. He was like we were at a bar and a friend of mine knew him and introduced me, and he was like super cool guy.
I mean, one of the last guys I would fuck with in the NHL. My
Again, I don't like when we play against him, but nice person. To me, at least. I don't know. I can't speak to anything else.
My girlfriend was watching a video that was like Evander Kane saying 7 things that he can't live without. And one of them was, he said like he always likes to have cash on him. And he says in the video, like, I always like to have like about $500 cash on me. And my girlfriend was saying like, what a ridiculous thing to say. Why would somebody volunteer to the world that you can just come up to me and take my money? And I was like, because he knows no one's coming up to him and taking his money. Like, he gets to do that. I can't.
That's probably right. You're probably right. You're probably right. Like there's like 5 other guys that'll come up to him, and they all play for the NHL. So,
yeah, exactly.
Right. You mentioned like a new fresh format for the NHL Awards this year. Does it make your job harder or easier that they're just giving away all the awards before the award show this year?
No. I think it makes my job better. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to toot my own horn for a second. I'm sorry, but Old Spice, that first commercial that I did came out before the Super Bowl. It never aired on the actual Super Bowl, and it also came out afterwards online. So this kind of format, you borrow from people. If it's successful, you borrow.
That's right. When you did the Old Spice commercial, like the first one, were you like, what the fuck is this? And why did I sign up for this? And did you ever imagine it becoming what it became?
Bro, I was trying to pay gas bills. I was trying to pay utilities. You know what I mean? I was trying to pay hydro, whatever it is. So I was just thankful to be on set having a job at the time. But no, I didn't think it would ever amount to this level of spokesmanship, I guess you'd call it. Because I'm still their spokesman. I was gonna wear an Old Spice shirt, but then I have too much respect for the NHL to break the rules. I was gonna also wear a Kings shirt, but I didn't want you guys just hammering on me.
Oh, brother, we got Kings jerseys all over this place.
And like a lot of talk about wearing shirts when everybody just wants you to not wear a shirt. That's been the whole vibe of the chat.
It's not the type of shirt you're wearing that would upset us. We would be pissed that you were wearing a shirt, period.
It's tough. It's tough. I'll tell you,
So
I could be like Hulk Hogan and just score it like.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Kings this offseason? Like they like Ken Holland comes in. He's probably gonna. I don't know. I got some ideas as to what he's gonna do, but what do you feel they need to do? What do you think that like needs to happen with that team?
Listen, I'm you guys. I'm a homer. All right, like anything they do, I love. So bringing him in, I'm like, oh, great, amazing. What's he gonna do? So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. I think that's just just a wise move to kind of get somebody in there with his pedigree. It's just unreal what he's done with his career. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
And getting back to the Old Spice thing, we have a friend who's on the progressive commercials, the Becoming Your Parents thing. You know those commercials. And he said it's tough when you're in a commercial that becomes a hit, because then you're like, well, now this is a good job and I might be in trouble where I just like cement myself into being that. Like, and I say, if you can become Flow, but that might just mean you're Flow. Have you ever had a moment where you've been like, damn, like, am I just going to become the Old Spice guy, when that's an amazing thing to be?
I mean, I've been asked that question a lot, but I don't think there was ever a moment, to be honest, where I was like, because like you said, if you can become Flow, you be Flow. You know what I mean? Like so I've been lucky enough to have other opportunities, and be able to work with some really great people. But no, I don't think I was ever worried about it because the checks were so fat.
That's like with commercials. Like, no, I mean, right? Like,
I'm just playing. I'm kidding. Totally kidding.
Once the first couple are good and they're like, we want to make more of them, that's when you do it. Like, it's not like Nick Cage probably got banged for National Treasure, but it's National Treasure 2 when they need to bring you back because people like it. That's when you're really getting paid.
the name of the game is making a living. You know, it's not for me, at least. It's not being you know, an icon megastar. It's making a living, putting my kids through school, you know, making sure that I have something, you know, something for my family. So honestly, like, I've been very fortunate to have a very, very long relationship with Old Spice, and I hope it continues.
And I mean, good news for you is that if you do a good job at the NHL Awards, cap's going up. I don't know if you heard this. So next year, way more money.
Oh man, I've told people that, hey, I would do this for a couple tickets and you know, a glizzy, you know, to a to a Kings game.
Have you ever brought Aldous Hodge to a Kings game?
No, I've never. I've asked him, but he doesn't live in Los Angeles. You know, he does his own thing. You know, so when he's in town, I've asked him, like, hey man, like, you know, do you wanna go? And he's usually busy, but you never know. You know, I'm still I don't not ask him. Let me put it like that. Like, I'm sure he's tired of me asking him.
Amazing. Do you know Retta? Retta's a friend, and she's a big Kings fan.
Yes. Retta and I, we've talked several times. Yeah, and she always gets like all the cool, like, she gets the cool seats at Crypto. Like, I like saw her like years ago, and I was like, oh, can I get those seats? But again, relevance. She's constantly working.
A million years ago, I used to cover the Boston Bruins, and she tweeted like at a Bruins game and took a picture of the ice, and I just tweeted at her like, yo, like, let's all hang after the game. And she was like, yeah, sure. And a bunch of us went to a bar and just talked about hockey, and it was the coolest experience of my life. And people were coming up to her.
Oh, she's cool people.
Yeah, she just wanted to talk about hockey. She just, like, we were just talking about sports, talked a little bit about her work, but like didn't bug her too much about that. And she was so cool. And then occasionally someone would come up and be like, oh my God, Donna, like, can I get you a drink? And she was like, keep it moving.
The best. Love her.
No, she's hilarious.
How long have you been a season ticket holder?
Ooh, since 2012. I bought in before they won the cup, and randomly, like, you know, like, I got lucky by seeing like them win the cup, and I was just like, whoa, you know. So I just been you know, a ticket holder ever since. Shout out to Section 119.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kings games are great. That roster is amazing. They got a lot of cool guys. We love everybody over there. The show's going to be awesome. I have no idea what the hell it's going to be tomorrow from this conversation, and that's what I like.
It's going to be, you guys are going to really appreciate it based off of what you were saying before about the guys not liking, you know, to be too flashy. I think you're really going to appreciate it. There's some really fun things we're going to do. I've been told to bring my skates, so we'll see.
You're saying AI happy Nikita Kucherov.
Yes.
That'd be awesome. It was, it's going to be different this year. And it's just like when Michael Scott like drew the smiles on everybody. It's just using AI to make Nikita Kucherov. They're going to bring back
something.
Yeah. Kucherov, Matt Friend's going to be there as well. It's going to be a big old party.
Look, everybody knows Kuch is the happiest guy in the league. What are you talking about?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Famously tries very hard in skills competitions. Isaiah, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to have you back like for King stuff if you'll ever accept it. But we know that you're doing big things. Old Spice, Cross, everybody check out his stuff. What a conversation.
Anytime, guys. Anytime. I'll even come on the show live if I'm in the area. Let me know.
Oh,
perfect.
Yes. Fantastic. All right. Appreciate you, man. Have fun.
Take care, fellas.
All right. That's Isaiah Mustafa. He will host the NHL Awards, and I am an enormous Isaiah Mustafa guy off
Same.
of that.
Yeah.
A lot of the chat finally eventually moved on from his looks to this guy rocks.
That was just post-nut clarity.
What's that? Yeah, suddenly people were just like moving on with their day, and it was clearly post-nut clarity.
That's right.
Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
I do want to talk about the awards, the way that they're handing out the awards.
What's that?
So not that Pete cares, apparently.
Yeah.
You just said you're good. That's all. That's all I wanted to hear. No, I do want to talk about the way that they're giving out the awards, because I know that you have thoughts on it. You mentioned yesterday that like you don't like the videos, but you never expanded on it. So I do want to hear why.
I just said I'm out on them, and I forget we were talking to somebody at the Bauer event, and I was like, I don't want to find out that way. I don't. And I've watched some of them, and some of them are good. I think that the Monahan thing, that's such a delicate way to deal with that anyway. So I loved that. They didn't make Sean Monahan get on a big stage and like explain to the world why he has won this award. I liked that. I've been told that some of the videos that are forthcoming have some hijinks. I just watch these videos and it does not further the excitement about these awards. And if anything, when you just sort of announce them on social media, it feels like an afterthought.
I strongly disagree because I think that the videos put the players in a more comfortable position. You get more authentic reactions. You're able to get a little bit more creative with the way that you present these awards to them. I think that, I mean, ultimately, you know as well as I do that like social virality is the currency for these kinds of things. So that opens up doors for the league. And again, ultimately just puts the players in a more comfortable position for them to accept these awards, which, like you said, they don't want to do because most NHL players are very humble. They don't want to get on stage and talk about how they've won this award. You're only going to get the same recycled speeches over and over and over again. And yeah, it puts the NHL awards in a really interesting position where it's like, we're going to be tuning in for like 2 awards. But at the same time, it allows you to get a little bit weirder with the way that you present the NHL awards. And I think like people aren't watching the NHL awards for the awards most of the time, right? Like, am I crazy about
that? Was going to
be
my thing is that like, I like the videos in part because a lot of times it's kind of obvious who's going to win the awards.
Right.
So like having them just like walk up there and give a cookie cutter speech doesn't really do a whole lot for me. So, like, I don't know what the other alternative is other than these videos, especially if you're going to have fun with some of them. But,
yeah. I don't like them, but I'm not, like, mad at them. I guess it's a very soft, I'm out on the videos.
I
don't know what an alternative is. It doesn't change my life one way or another.
I have a feeling, again, based on some of what we heard yesterday and kind of some of what Isaiah said, that they're going to be this year and moving forward, slightly more creative and entertaining. Like, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg as far as how these videos are going to go.
I'm excited to see it. I want dancing. I want performances. Dua Lipa's supposed to be in the mix. Maybe I just made up.
I think give it a couple of years and it's just going to be like, it's going to be Ashton Kutcher doing Punk'd.
That's what I was hoping for with hijinks. I want like people crying and then being told, just kidding, you're the best coach in the world. You know,
it really depends on the situation. Because it was cool to see. Obviously, like the Monahan thing is what it is. But like I liked seeing Carberry get emotional when he had his family from like all over North America surprise him. Like I think those are cool moments as opposed to them just having a couple of people they care about in the crowd and then giving a speech in front of a bunch of people.
Breaking news from the music world, and the chat is getting into it too. Brian Wilson. The great Brian Wilson, architect of the Beach Boys, dead, which he'd not been doing great for a while. And if you know anything about Brian Wilson, he has certainly not had an easy life, but truly a Mount Rushmore pop musician, like full stop. It's like Paul McCartney and Brian Wilson are right there together. And then you got Prince or Stevie, whoever you want to throw in there. Brian Wilson, one of the absolute best, like maybe the second best to ever do it. The GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know nearly like a 1/10 of what you know about the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson, but even based off of the movies with Paul Dano and what was the newer one? Because there's 2 of them, right?
Oh yeah, there's Brian Wilson movies have been a thing. I don't know off the top of my head.
But the Paul Dano one was incredible, and obviously like the Beach Boys, incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brian Wilson, absolute legend. Shout out to Brian
Sean,
Wilson.
you haven't had a Beach Boys kick yet, have you?
No.
Oh man, you're gonna love them. You know why they call them the Beach Boys?
No.
Because when they went to the beach, they were them boys.
I did have a Beach Boys CD when I was very, very young. You keep saying that there's like these groups that I'm going to like eventually.
I know, it's condescending.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think I'm ever going to be into all respect. I don't think I'm ever going to be into the Beach Boys. Don't think I'm ever going to be into Grateful Dead.
Oh my God, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I really
Oh, that's
don't.
hilarious.
I am much less certain about the Beach Boys, but
Yeah.
I am certain that you are going to have a Grateful Dead stage.
I feel confident I won't.
So, but
Well,
now you're
so
choosing.
here's the
you're
thing.
going into it saying, okay, well, I'm just never.
But
I'm
I've,
always
I've
gonna
heard
respect
the
said
that.
the
music.
same
I don't
thing.
have any interest in
I
it.
would have said the same. I never had an interest in the Grateful Dead, and I still kind of don't have an interest in the Grateful Dead. But if somebody offers you the opportunity to go to a Dead show, whether it's the Grateful Dead, whether it's Dead and Company,
Yeah, that's
you
different.
will say yes because you like a good time.
Yeah,
and then you will
that's
go
different.
there and you will be like, "Damn,
I can
this is
appreciate
pretty
like
sick.
the Grateful Dead
experience."
Like I can appreciate getting fucked up on your drug of choosing and vibing. I can, but I don't have any interest in the music.
Yeah, but that's because you haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Like I could name you like probably 3 Dead songs, but when I am at a Dead show and I've done a little pot, the music is the most important thing that's ever happened.
See,
And it's a thing that
It's unbelievable.
And it's a thing that obviously in the moment unbelievable. Once you experience it and it's kind of on you a little bit, there's just going to be moments where even if it's background music, you're going to be like, "Oh, I'll like put on a Grateful Dead playlist for something." Like, I do it all the time. If I'm rollerblading and it's just like really nice and there's no one near me, I'm like, this calls for some Dead.
You Sean, you are a big you like the vibes to be curated.
Yeah.
And like the vibes are so immaculately curated at a Dead show.
I would I would have to imagine there's few better live experiences than like seeing Grateful Dead at Red Rocks. I feel like has to be one of the coolest things of all time. Or at Grateful Dead at the Sphere seems like an overwhelming experience. Still cool, but it seems but like, yeah, I just don't think I will ever care about the music. And I will say two of the I don't want to call them older than me gentlemen that I am closest with in my life, and Craig Morgan, and I believe also PD. I know Craig for sure fucking hates Dead.
Really?
Yes.
That's
yeah.
stunning.
And it is stunning, especially when you know like how the rest of who Craig is as a person. But I just like, I know there's crossover in our music tastes, but by and large, I feel like we have pretty different music tastes.
Us?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, but also every time you're on a kick of anything, it's something that I like.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, maybe, but that's because I don't make it public every time I'm on a Drake kick, which is
Fair.
all the time.
Sean is doing huge "I'm not like you, Dad" right now.
But I
Don't
mean, like-
want to be just like you.
But like we like Drake, I think. Like Drake is so
Yeah, I liked him.
accessible.
Yeah.
He's not like you are a Drake head.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
So-
not a Drake head, but like Drake is so extremely accessible.
Chat, just make sure we don't want to ban anybody. Don't talk about Mike Love.
Yeah,
Just,
fuck
don't-
that.
Don't bring up Mike Love on this beautiful day. We're not this beautiful day, but it's a sad day.
I mean,
It's bad enough we lost Brian
beautiful day,
Wilson.
too.
Don't want to be reminded that we still have Mike Love. Ugh.
That's
What do you know about Mike Love?
Nothing.
the less you know, the better.
Is it
Kevin
actually
Love's
Kevin Love's uncle?
Either cousin or uncle. I think he might
Smack it
be
says uncle.
Uncle.
Okay.
Am I
he's-
going to be upset if I go look at
He's
his
like
Wikipedia?
he's one of the other guys in the Beach Boys, and he's the least talented, and he's a real just
Fucking
like,
asshole.
with the most concrete, beautifully majestic C you could make. He is that.
Okay.
He's the worst. After this show, I'm going to show the Sean the Beach Boys getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Mike Love being the worst.
There was there not a Twitter bit that you were doing for a number of years where there was a Beach Boys account that would post historical photos of the Beach Boys, and you would Photoshop Mike Love out of the photos and say, "I made it better"?
I would reply to it and I would say like, "Hey, for anyone who wants this photo, I replaced Mike Love with blank." And I would just always replace Mike Love with something. And it would be like, I replaced Mike Love with like Newman or anything to not have Mike Love there. Sean, could you give me a slate, please, for tonight?
I suppose so. Kinda.
Oh, booty tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Second straight day, no hockey tonight. What are everybody's plans?
I think I might go to the Sox game.
Oh, good for you.
Who are they playing?
The Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, okay.
That's
Not
not
a bad idea.
I
hate
am.
that.
I'm taking a nap today. I don't know when or for how long, but I'm taking a nap.
I think a baseball
was
game
gonna
is the most
say
social
earlier-
thing I could do.
I was gonna say earlier in the show, I think it was during the Oilers talk, I noticed no longer sounded tired. Maybe it was the Oilers effect. I didn't want to bring attention to it, but you have exited the tired voice stage.
I mean, I think.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Just took a little. Everyone needed a longer runway today, I'd say.
I would say that that's probably true. I started playing a video game called The Expanse the other night, and I'm pretty into it. So I'm very excited to get some time with that tonight. So shout out to everybody. Also, shout out to everybody in the chat who said I look handsome. The chat loves when I wear my glasses.
I don't like the Drake talk that's going on in the chat.
You don't like what?
A lot of haters.
Oh, there's
I mean,
Drake's
somebody in the
facing some
chat said Kyle
accusations.
Beach Boys, so the chat is an absolute mess right now.
Drake's facing some
That's tough.
accusations that I have not previously seen.
Actually?
No,
I was
course
like-
I've
I was
seen
like,
those
what?
accusations. They did a Super Bowl halftime show on them.
Yeah, I was like, there's a lot. You're missing a lot there. Baseless accusations.
I mean, our family has grown today, though, because Isaiah Mustafa is definitely going to be part of our little world, whether he likes it or not.
It's one of those things where like he's so good at being like charismatic and personable. I don't know if he was just like turning it on for us,
Yeah.
or whether he actually like totally vibes with
We
us.
asked 2 questions, and he was like, "Oh, I know what these guys want."
Yeah.
We didn't even get to bring up that him and I are both alumni of the Arizona State University.
That's true.
And he was a history major there,
Mm.
and you were not,
But
but
it's not. But
you
You're a
would be.
spiritual history major.
I have been a spiritual history major for 26 going on 27 years.
Amazing. What do you know about Benjamin Franklin Gates?
Nothing.
He's a part of the Gates family. Very important American.
Bill
family.
Gates?
No, Benjamin Franklin Gates. Great grandson of Thomas Gates, who was accused of being in on a conspiracy to assassinate President Lincoln. But after looking for some treasure, it was proven that no, he
Are
has
we
nothing
doing
to do with
Is this
that.
a national
Yeah, I think it
treasure
is.
thing?
I think
Absolutely it is.
Oh my
It's been way
God.
too long since I've seen those movies for me to get that.
I keep
But-
talking to Sean about National Treasure, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I love those movies. I don't really remember them though." And I'm like, "Cool, I'll be back in 5 minutes." Watch them both. Yeah, National Treasure movies. They got me some kind of way. Okay, great show, everybody. Make sure that everyone is subscribed to the show on YouTube and everywhere else. I'll tell you what, maybe it's because they take a while to come in. I checked the reviews on Apple Podcasts yesterday. No new reviews.
I think they do take a while to come in because I remember like in the brunch days, and I guess for some of these podcasts, they all like trickle in, and then all of a sudden you have like 7 from June 10th. On
Right.
like June 18th. So if you haven't left a review, leave us a positive review on Apple and Spotify, but mainly Apple if you're on there or not, because we are getting review bombed by the Greg Cody podcast, who says that I am not welcome in the streets of Miami. So it would be real nice if you would counterbalance that, give us a nice positive review, and while you're at it, give the Greg Cody Show and the Dan Le Batard Show a positive review. Give them 5 stars. Say that you are a What Chaos listener. Say you're a What Nut, but you are better people than the Le Batard Show listeners. Just take the high road, and also amplify us everywhere else you can. Whether it's YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video, comment on the videos that we post. All that good stuff. It all helps us. We very much appreciate you.
Yeah, say in your review, I didn't need any more shows to listen to, but Pete and DJ from What Chaos said to give the Dan Le Batard Show a chance, and I'm beginning to like it. Billy Heel isn't my favorite, but everybody else is great. Top 5 stars. Also, National Treasure is a great movie. Something
right.
like that.
And
the Oilers showed, what was it? The Oilers. I was looking for the toughness the Oilers showed.
Oh, grit.
That
was the grit I was looking for.
Yes, the Oilers showed the grit I was looking for in Game 3.
Also, only refer to Billy Gill as William, please.
William
Gill.
William Heel.
Gill.
Spell it H-E-E-L, and then in parentheses, pronounced H-E-E-L. Something like that.
There you go.
And the National Treasures and Oilers stuff. All right. Did we tell everybody to do everything they need to do?
I think so.
All right. We love you. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.